Hello friends, I'm back again with another sewing project, a simple, easy, beginner-friendly sewing project. Again, we'll make another potli bag with some scrappy fabric. So this is a scrappy piece of fabric of good length. It's a gazi silk Banarasi fabric, very rich and vibrant. We'll be using it as the upper body for my potli bag. And this is again a thick scrappy fabric of a unused shirt which was lying for a long time. This I'm going to use as my lining fabric, and these pieces of scrappy fabric is the selvedge of a chanderi suit piece which I had, and before giving it to the tailor I had cut the selvedge part, and now I'm going to use it. So, selvedge along with the a bit of the fabric from the main body will be used for my decoration, that I'll tell you as we go along the sewing project. And the remaining portion of this selvedge line, since I cut it a little wider, so I'm going to use this portion for making my strings for the potli bag or the cord. So I have a good amount of it from both sides of the fabric which I had, and these are some beads for the decoration of the ends of the string, and these are handles of a gift wrap pouch made up of very nice silk thread, and it will make a very good handle for my potli bag. So this is another add-on to the sewing project, so you'll get to see how to make a different kind of a potli bag from the previous ones which I have made. So let's get started. So before we start, I'm going to iron all of this once so that the fabric is straight and easy to cut and I get accurate stitching lines. From the gazi silk fabric which I am going to use as the upper body, I have cut out two exactly same pieces for the upper body, and I'll tell you what measurement. So it is 10 inches by 12 inches. So I have two upper body fabric which are to the measurement of 10 by 12, and to the exact same measurement I have cut out the lining pieces also after I press them fine. And after that, from the selvedge I told you, from one of that what I did is, keeping a margin of around 1/4 of an inch, I cut out the entire strip of the selvedge neatly so that this much portion of the main body of that fabric was retrieved, and then I cut out the entire fabric piece into two equal half strips, and from one of the strips I made the string that I'm going to use for my potli bag, as you can see. And this has turned out to be, I'll tell you what is the measurement of this. So this is 44 inches, so that is fine. I normally take a string length of around 35 inches, and if it's a little extra, that is okay. So I'm now going to show you how I made this with the other part. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to press it on one side to around 1/4 of an inch, and then same from the other side, and then press one on top of the other, and then I'm going to start sewing from here so that it gives me a thin string. If you want, you can also pin it up, but I can do just like that because chanderi cotton, it is going to stay flat. It's a non-fussy fabric and it will lay straight. Be slow, there's no need to hurry so that your finish is nice. So both my strings are ready. I keep them aside, and now for the decoration that I was talking about with this selvedge, I'm going to make some frills out of it. So please observe carefully how I first prepare the frills out of this selvedge. For that, I'll keep the width my sewing lines a little longer to the maximum, so that it's almost a tacking stitch, and then towards the fray end of this selvage I'm going to fold to get the frills, and this has to be done very slowly. So this way I'm going to do the entire length. My frills for the decoration of my Potli bag body is ready, and now we are going to install it to the upper body fabric, and I'll show you how. So for that, first of all, I'm going to, rather than giving it a squarish shape, I'm going to give it a little rounded corners towards the bottom of the Potli bag. So for that, I take one of the upper body fabric and fold it into half along the length. So remember, it is 10 inches into 12 inches fabric. So along the 12 inches I give it a fold, and then towards the bottom edge I give it a round shape, just like this. And I'm going to repeat the same for the other. So for that, I have placed the remaining 3 fabrics, that is 1 upper body and 2 inner lining, and on top of that I place this, which has been already cut in a round shape, and along its margin I am going to cut the remaining 3. So that they all are identical. So I get the rounded corners of my bottom, all 4, and now one of the upper body fabric I am going to install the frills. So for that I'll require the pins, and the right side of the upper body fabric and the right side of the frill I put it together inside, and the wrong sides facing each other, ends matching each other, the fray edges or the raw edges, and then I pin them together, just like this. And now it has been pinned all around nice and proper. The excess frill that is left, I just cut it off, and now I give it a stitch along the raw edges on the wrong side, starting from here. You must have observed that I have given a couple of back stitches at the beginning and at the end. So now the main body and the decorative frills have been attached to one side of the fabric, and what I do is, since the silk fabric is fraying a bit, so I am going to give an interlock stitch here just to make it secure. So now with the interlocking done, I don't even have to worry about the fabric fraying, and also it gives it a neat finish. This is how my upper body one side looks at the present moment. I am hoping that it will come out really well. Let's see how far I succeed. And now, keeping the right side of this part to which I have fixed the frills on top, I place the other part of the upper body with the right side facing the right side inside, and now both of them I have to sew them together so that the frills don't come in the way and they are facing inside, so that it is on the right side. So you have to be careful that the frills are inside, and you are going to sew them both together, pushing the frills inside and not just keeping in mind that they do not come in between the sew, and that way you get a neat finish. And I sew it together, wrong sides together, with a margin of around a quarter of an inch, and do it very slowly. You don't have to hurry, so that you get neat finish. Give a couple of back stitches at the beginning and at the end. And now I'll just push it to the outer side. So you can see this is how my upper body fully stitched both sides look like. So I'm just going to cut off all the uneven edges to the top. So I'll just keep it aside, and now we are going to do the prep for the inner body. So for the inner body, it's very simple. We take both the raw right sides and put them inside, just like we did for the upper body, the wrong sides facing up, and I just give it a quick stitch all around with some back stitches at the beginning and at the end. This is how the finished inner lining looks like. Now this one I'm not going to pull it to the right side. It will stay just like that. So I'll just gently push it inside with the wrong side outside, so that both the wrong sides meet each other and the right side is the inside of the body. So both the upper and the inner bodies have been put together. Just see that they are all matching up. You can feel it with your hands and adjust it accordingly. So it's just coming out a bit. I'll just give it almost around half an inch of cut. We don't have to be very worried about the inner fabric, because as it is going to be inside. So if there's a little bit of difference in the measurement, that doesn't matter, but we have to be very careful with the upper body. It has to match accurately. Now they look pretty much okay together. And now what we are going to do is, we are going to give it a fold of 1/2 inch inside, and the lining, the open end 1/2 inch inside, and both of them we have to match the corners, starting from the corners with the fold of 1/2 inch for both. We are going to pin them up together, and we are going to continue with this from all the sides. So now that the matching has been done, we are going to give it a top stitch all across. Now since this is a round stitch all across the fabric, the best thing to do is, I remove this attachment, and now I get this free hand, and it will become much easier for me to, because it loops around, it becomes easier for me to stitch. So it has been stitched nice and proper, as you can see, from both sides on the top edge. And now for the panel through which the string has to be pulled into this Potli bag, I am going to give a marking at around 2 inches from the top end, the open end of the Potli bag, all around. Now I take this selvedge fabric, and this time I don't cut out this extra portion of the main fabric, and this length, which was around, width which was around 10 inches, a little more than that, maybe 1/2 inch more, I cut this fabric out, piece out, strip out, and same I also cut for the other side, 2 pieces. And now I am going to give it a fold just to lock the fray edges on both openings of this panel on both sides. I'll sew it with my hands. My needle with the thread is already ready, and I just give it 1/16 of an inch fold once and then twice, and then sew it with this needle and thread, which I have locked from one side, the thread. And I hem it all across. So you can see that the open end of the panel is neatly done without any chance of fraying, and just the same way I'm going to lock the other side and for the other panel also. Both the panels with the raw edges on both sides have been properly hand sewn, and now they are ready to be fixed to the main body for the panel. So for that, along the marking that I have done at 2 inches, I am going to fix the lower side of this panel with a fold of around 1/4 of an inch. If you want, you can pin it up. I'll do straight away. So this is going to come very handy for me, this open part, and so I just put it inside, and then very slowly, you don't have to hurry, just give some couple of back stitches at the beginning and at the end. And just the same way, I am going to fix the upper side also. So one side of the panel has been fixed to the main body, and just the same way I am going to fix the other panel to the other side and then come right away. Now that the panels have been fixed on both sides, I am going to fix this handle to the main body by hand sewing this corner one and the other end to the other corner. So I'll just see that my sewing lines do not end up showing on the top fabric. It just fixes to the inner side of the body. So you can see that I'm careful enough that it doesn't show on the upper side of the body. You can see just getting fixed but not showing on the outer side. That gives it a neat finish. So I'll just sew like this, giving some locks 4 to 5 times so that it becomes sturdy, and I'm going to repeat it on the other side. So it's properly fixed now. So I just lock it once. and twice. That's it. And I'll repeat the same on the other side. Give this body a final better finish. What I have decided is, if you remember, this main body scrappy fabric had a selvage to its end, both sides. So I have not thrown away the selvage, and what I have done is, as you can see in this portion of the selvage, I have taken out the fray ends of loose threads and pulled them out, so that I am just left with the selvage, and the selvage doesn't fray any further, and I have this beautiful effect on the raw edge side. So same way, I'll give a demo with the other selvage part that I have. So from this fray end, I am just going to pull out the threads just like this. So all the silk thread comes out, so that I am just left with the selvage. So this is just the selvage part, and now you can see none of the fabric can be pulled out any further threads, and so this gives a very nice effect. And now these two selvage lines that I have, I'm going to sew them together, and then this entire length of the selvage I'm going to sew it to the top open end of my Potli bag, and that is going to give it a very nice finish and look on the top part of the open end. And I sew it together. Top stitch very close to the edges. Be slow so that it is a neat finish. There's a bulb because of this handle, and so you have to be a little slow with your stitches here. Just give it a fold on the raw side and then lock it together. So you can see that the open end looks so much more prettier. Now we've reached the end of this project, where we are just going to fix the string and do the end decoration for the string. This is the decoration at the end of one of the strings which I have already made. So I'll just fix it and show you, and then I'll prepare the second decoration just the same way and explain how I did it. So we take a safety pin and fix it to one of the end of the strings, and then push it from inside one of the sides of the panel. Pull it out from here. We have been doing it for all our previous projects also, and then take it inside from the other side of the body, and then bring it out from the other end of the second panel, so that both the open ends meet together on one side. And now here we are going to attach one string, and this time one decoration, and this time we are going to do it a little different from our previous projects. So what I am going to do is, with the needle and thread, I am going to sew both the open ends of one of the strings together. sew it 2-3 times, repeat it so that it becomes sturdy and doesn't come out, and then tie a few knots. And now at this point where I tied the knot, here I am going to fix this decoration which I made earlier. And so for that, this decorative end already has a lot of loose end of thread. I have kept it with the plan that it will help me in tying it to the strings together. So now what I am going to do is turn it around. Now before I do that, I also have the needle and the thread all attached. I haven't taken it out, so I tie a knot with that here, so it fixes. One more knot, so it's attached. And now this thread with the needle, I just snip it off, and this loose end of the thread from which is coming out of this decoration, I just wrap it all around the string just like this. It also gives it a neat finish and a neat look of the pink thread, you can see here. And then I give it a, before it's coming to a close, the thread as it comes to a finish, I try a few knots here. Makes it sturdy and also doesn't come out. 2 knots and 3 knots. So you can see that it has been, and now I just cut it off, the excess thread, and you can see that how beautiful it has been attached to the string, one of the decorations. So now I am also going to, just the same way, attach the second string to the main body, and then we'll get back to the second decoration. So this time, as we have done earlier also, I am going to push the string inside from the other side of the panel, not from this side from where the other string is coming out. So I'll take it out, push it inside from this side, and then bring it all across and from this side. So my other side of the string has also been attached, and I locked the raw ends of both the strings together with the needle and thread which is already in place. Tie a knot, and then just the same way as I did earlier, I fix it together. Tie 1 or 2 knots, and I don't cut off the excess thread now because I'm going to use this thread to tie the decoration at this end. So before that, let us make the second decoration. This extra piece of fabric which was left, from which you can see already that there are some circular portions cut off. So this is the lid of a bottle which I'm going to use as my template, and I just put it here and draw with the help of a sketch pen. I draw 2 circles. And now, as you can see in the decoration, one of the spheres is a little bigger ball and the other one is a little smaller ball. So accordingly, I am going to cut a circle, one circle which is exactly on top of this marking, and the other circle I'm going to cut 1/4 of an inch inside the circle with a raw estimate. So just the same way from inside I'm going to cut out the other circle. So it's not bad at all. So I have 2 circles here, and now I'll show you with one of them how to make it. So for that I'll get my needle arranged with the thread, and I also need some cotton. So I already have the cotton with me, which is to be stuffed inside. So this is my thread which has been knotted on one side and the other side is kept loose. And now taking this bigger circle, and along the raw edges I give it a tacking stitch almost around 1/4 of an inch inside from all across till I reach this end again. I've reached the other end. It's almost making a potli kind of a thing, and now from this open end you're going to stuff inside a good amount of cotton so that it becomes a firm ball. So I just push inside some, so I still have some option to put some more cotton inside till the time it becomes a little fluffy and it takes some volume. So it has got nice amount of volume now. You can see almost the same size, and now all the raw edges you have to push them inside so that none of it is visible outside. Push all the raw ends inside and then pull it so that none of the raw edges are visible, as you can see here. I hope it's clear to you. So nothing is visible on the outside, and now you are going to give some stitches to make it firm from all across and also to lock it. So I give some stitches from all the sides so that it is locked and none of the free edges show. So this way I give it a final knot once and twice, and I cut off the excess thread. So this is the first ball which is ready, the bigger one, and just the same way I am going to make the second one and get back to you. And my smaller second ball is also ready. You can see that none of the fray edges is visible. That's the most important thing you have to keep in mind, that when you are locking it together, the raw edges, the fray edges shouldn't be visible. So that will give it a neat finish. And now we are going to do the decoration with all the beads. So for that, my needle has already been put together with the thread. I have long 2 strands of the thread, double layer. And now first looking at this and following the same pattern. So first I need 2 beads, green color, and then leaving around 5 to 6 inches open on the raw side, I first insert the big ball, starting from the end from where I had closed the ball. I pierce the needle inside and just bring it out straight from the other end, just like this. And then I have this bead, as you can see in this pattern. Then I have this. So I start from this side, from where I had closed the sphere, and then bring it straight from the other side my needle. So following the same pattern, then I have this. You can use your own fancy and your own imagination when you make your own these decorations or the danglers or the charms. And then I have this green bead and then the white bead, and then I have to bring the needle back to this side, the open end. So keeping the white as it is, white bead as it is, I make a loop around it and then bring it back from the green bead, then this, just the reverse way around, so that it comes back to the open side. And now I push it from this side inside. The needle shows on the other side, and then from here I bring it to the other side and again through the green beads, so that the entire process has taken a reverse order and both the loose ends come to one side. And now I just leaving around, so now I have to make it sturdy. I have now 4 loose threads hanging, and at around the same length of 6 inches I cut it off, and following the same procedure to the open end of the to this closed end of the string where the needle is already intact, to this loose thread I am going to tie this decoration with a couple of knots to make it firm. And now I cut this thread and detach it from the needle, and now I loop it all around this end of the string. Give a couple of knots here, once and twice, and then some more knots, and then before the thread gets over I give 2 more knots here, 1 and 2. And now this excess thread I just cut it out. So my both loose ends are now having a good finish, and as I pull the string together, this is my potli bag. You can see, if you want you can also tie it like this. And with this handle you can hold it. So this is how the potli bag looks. I hope you enjoyed this project and got few more ideas of making a potli bag in a different manner without using anything expensive bought from the market. You can see the entire decoration has been done by the use of scrappy fabric judiciously. Even the selvage from a previously unused fabric has been taken into account for the decoration. Nothing has been purchased from the market, and that is how you get your creative best. Let your imagination be the boss which rules the entire project. I hope you liked my idea, and you are going to surely give it a try in some other way with all the scrappy fabrics that are present at your home. And until next time that I come up with another idea of that time, I'll keep posting all my videos on maths tutorial. Presently I post weekly videos on 10th mathematics, and we are on the 4th chapter right now, quadratic equation. Keep watching and share it with your friends. And regarding this potli bag, if you really liked my idea, then share it with your friends. Like and subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me on Instagram and do not forget to hit the bell notification icon to be updated with all my upcoming videos. Until next time, bye.